Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how I created this makeup look, and I actually want to donate all the revenue I make with this video for the Black Lives Matter movement. I will make sure to link everything down in the description bar together with some petitions you can sign if you haven't already. So before I go in with any eyeshadow, I first always prime my eyelids like I always do. I'm using the MAC Cosmetics paint pot in the color Soft Ochre, and I'm using a P84 brush to apply this all over the eyelid. Now for today's video, I'm gonna play with the Anastasia Love palette, which is a super beautiful palette. This is the second time using it. If you haven't seen the previous video where I used it, I will make sure to link that video down in the description bar if you need like some extra inspiration on what you can do with this palette. So I started with this light pink color, and I'm gonna actually blend this all over in the crease, going back and forth with my brush. But I'm also kind of going to pack on the eyeshadow on top of the eyelid to make sure that this pink color is everywhere. I wanted this shade to be like the base of the whole eye look. That's why I'm blending it all the way in the crease, but also on top of the eyelid. So the brush I'm using is a Sigma Beauty E40, which comes in my brush kit, which I created together with Sigma Beauty, which I have linked down in the description bar in case you're curious. So the next color I'm going in with is more of a kind of like a pinky peachy, I think. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's a really beautiful warm tone pink, and I'm gonna use a E25 brush from Sigma and kind of pressing it in the outer V and blending my brush back and forth to kind of darken up the outer V area of the eyelid. And I just continue to blend until I find that everything is looking like nicely blended out. If you recreate this and you find it still looking harsh, you can always go back in with that first pink color that I used at the beginning. Now using this soft shimmery color for all over the eyelid, I use my finger. You can also use a wet brush. You can use a little bit of setting spray on top of your brush and then apply it on the eyelids. This is also gonna work, but I feel like using your finger is always the easiest way, and it works just as fine. And I do feel like this shade was not really pigmented, not the way I wanted it to be. I think this is more like a topper eyeshadow, like a sparkle that you apply on top of like a shimmer eyeshadow to make it more sparkly, and not to really use on its own. Well, you can use it on its own, but it's not like a super full coverage kind of color. I don't really know how to describe that in English, but I hope that makes sense. So I decided to go in with a different product to make it a little bit more covered. This is a chrome crystal top coat from Anastasia, which is also kind of like a top coat, but I felt like I just wanted to do something different to kind of fix how it was looking, because I just wasn't super happy with how it was looking. So I just used this on top of the eyelid. This has a little bit more of a bronzy undertone. The color that I used, by the way, is in the color bronze, and I used my finger to just apply it all over the eyelid, and it's just gonna make the eyelid a little bit more warm since it has a bronzy undertone. Now next I'm going in with this purple color and a E75 brush from Sigma. You can see that I did use a wet brush, which kind of makes the eyeshadow in the palette looks a little bit weird. But I wanted to use a wet brush because I'm actually going to use this for my eyeliner. In one of my previous videos, I also did like a similar eye look using purple eyeshadow for my eyeliner, and you guys really seem to like it, so I wanted to do it for today's video as well. This is kind of like a different kind of purple. It has a different undertone than the previous video. If you haven't seen it yet, I will make sure to link it down in the description bar as well. But by making your eyeshadow wet, you can use it as your eyeliner. It's gonna make the color way more intense, darker, and this way you can just create like a lot of cool eye looks without having to purchase like a separate eyeliner to make this happen. So yeah, I really like this trick, and I'm just gonna use like this for above the lash line to create like a line, and then I'm also gonna use a little bit like to create a wink liner. Then after applying the eyeliner, I felt like I wasn't really happy with the color. I felt like it looked too similar to the previous video I made. So I decided to go on top of it with this purple color to kind of make the color of the eyeliner just look different. I think this has a bit more of a cooler undertone, which I think is really beautiful. I also really like the color of how it was looking, but it was just too similar to the previous video. And of course, I don't want to like bore you guys with doing the same looks all the time, so I kind of have to change it up. So that's why I went in with this purple on top of it. Now after that, I am going in with some concealer to make everything look better, because you can see I actually had a lot of fallout underneath the eyes. It looks like I have really dark circles at the moment, which I'm not really proud of, but I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna use concealer. I'm gonna use the Tarte Cosmetics Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm gonna use a concealer brush from Dose of Colors and applying this like straight underneath the winged liner to make it look all clean and sharp again. I'm also gonna use some foundation and concealer all over my face, but I did this off camera. But if you see like that my face is suddenly looking a lot different, like my skin texture and color, that's because I did apply foundation and concealer off camera. That's like the next step I'm doing. I always like to do that after creating my winged liner, because then I have my foundation on, my concealer, and then I'm ready to do the lower lash line. I don't like to use like eyeshadow underneath the lower lash line when I haven't applied concealer yet. I don't see the point, because if I would go in with concealer afterwards, it would touch the eyeshadow and it would kind of mess it up. I don't know how you guys do it, but definitely let me know in the comments. So now I'm going in with this pencil from Urban Decay, which is in the color Love Drug, if I'm not mistaken. I will put all the names of the products I'm using in the description bar, of course. But I'm using it in the waterline. It looks kind of similar to the shade that I used for the winged liner. So I thought it would look perfect with today's eye look. I'm just going to use it all the way in the waterline. Then now I'm going to take a E50 brush from Sigma Beauty, which comes also in my kit. And I'm going to use this purple, which I used at the end on top of the winged liner. I thought it would be a little bit weird if I would go in with that other purple shade, because I actually wanted it to look different. So I thought, let me just go in with this purple instead. And I'm just using this for all the way underneath the lower lash line, kind of sweeping my brush back and forth to make sure that this shade is everywhere. And then now I'm going to use a mixture of that same purple with a little bit of the pink shade, which we used all the way at the beginning. And I'm going to sweep those both colors like all the way, going back and forth with my brush to kind of smudge it out and make everything look more soft. Then I'm going in with this Dream Glow Kit from Anastasia. The one that I have is really messy, as you can see. It has a lot of fallout, which you can clearly see in the palette itself. So I went in with the color Unicorn, and I used a little bit of that for in the inner corner of my eye. I really love this palette. It has a lot of like more pinky shimmers, which are really nice to use for your eye looks or for your highlighter, of course. Then now I'm going in with the newest mascara from Huda Beauty. I am using the length and curl side, which I think is really nice. It really lifts the lashes and it makes my lashes super long. I'm actually not going to use fake lashes for today's video, because I wanted to create a more simple and more easier look, which you can still wear to a party or a special occasion, but also for work if you want to do something different. So yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. I really hope you all enjoyed. And one more time, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!